Welcome to Love a Girl CEO, the podcast for women who believe love and money aren't mutually exclusive. I'm your host, Devony Wells Gibson, divorce attorney turned marriage strategy expert and the founder of the Prenup Queen. Today, I'm joined by Brandon Johnson, a certified personal financial expert who specializes in educating the youth and couples when it comes to their finances. In this episode, we're diving into what financial alignment is, important conversations couples should have, and what financial compromise might look like when it comes to partnership. This directly impacts the way we build intentional, aligned, and successful marriages. If you're ready to stop leaving your relationship to chance and start treating your marriage like the most important partnership of your life, you're in the right place. Let's get into it. Anyways, okay, let's turn this around to money.
Finances and money.
Let's turn this around to money. Okay. So everyone is going to want to know, who is Brandon Johnson? What does he do? Where did he come from? How did he get into money? So tell us about yourself.
I'm Brandon Johnson. I am from San Diego, California, born and raised.
Oh, you're a unicorn.
I am a unicorn.
Okay.
But I did leave to go to school in Nashville, Tennessee, Fisk University. And sophomore year, though, my mother passed away. She had been dealing with lupus and cancer unbeknownst to me. And so I get a call sophomore year that she passed away. And
while you're in college?
While I'm in college, right? And the only really reason I was in college is because of my mom. She really wanted, mom, go to school, go to college. And no matter what, pull out a bunch of student loans, right? Just make sure you go. Sophomore year, I lost my mom, but I had two siblings who were still here in California. And so end of sophomore year, I left school and moved back here to help raise them. I'm 8 years older than my sister, 10 years older than my brother.
Oh, you're the oldest child.
Oldest child by a good chunk. And so they were given to my aunt in the will. But she had never had kids, never been married. Just to get two preteens dumped on your lap, I was like, Auntie, I'll come out and I'll help you navigate this. She was a paralegal, legal secretary, busy job for a really busy attorney. And she's like, now I got to do schools, lunches, homework. I was like, I got you.
Yeah.
These are my siblings. So I came out, moved to LA, lived there for a stretch, helped them. And I started working. Then they were kind of off on their own a little bit. And I got a job at the Apple store. And this is right before the iPhone came out. And I was working at going to Santa Monica College, just honestly trying to keep my student loans at bay.
Right.
Because I couldn't afford them. So I was like, let me just maintain the minimum units. But what happened is, working at this Apple store, I want to say during that time, the last big recession hit. And I was showing up late to work because I didn't know any better. First real big boy job. I didn't know you couldn't be a minute or two late every day. Coming back from lunch, a minute. I didn't know that corporations clock that. So one day I clock in. Right. I didn't know there was a minute here. I was like, what do they care?
Yeah.
It said, you're no longer an employee here. It sucked. I was already at Apple Genius at this point, at the Apple Genius bar. And I lose that job. And because it's a recession, I can't get a job anywhere else.
Where are we at?
2008, 9.
Okay, I was thinking of 7, 8.
2008,
okay.
Yeah. So I'm walking around with a paper resume to, still, are you hiring? The Banana Republic, the Gap, McDonald's, nobody would give me an interview.
Right.
And so I couldn't pay on the car that I had. That got repossessed, but I was sleeping in it because I stopped being able to pay for my apartment months ago and the guy kicked me out. So things just started to happen. Smart guy, but I didn't really have any financial information. Had no savings. Everything was in the negatives. Eventually, all my credit cards were in collections. Debt was in collections. Everything was in the negatives. So I ended up having to kind of balance between sleeping in my car and at a girlfriend's house. And her mom was like, hey, any money you get, I need it because you're running up my bills now.
Right.
So I just couldn't get ahead. I picked up a camera during this time, would take people's headshots here and there. Hey, $20 here, $30 there. Everybody in LA was an actor.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I got a call that they're repossessing my car. They're nice enough to call and say, hey, we do know where the car is. We'll give you a day if you want to clear anything out. We do have to take it.
We know where your car's at.
Yeah, we already, he told me addresses. He's like, but we'll give you. So I just remember pulling all of my stuff out and just putting it in a driveway at my girlfriend's apartment. Like, all right, I don't even know what to do. The day before that, I was driving around. I was on Santa Monica and Vine. Legit, like, all right, when I can't stay at my girlfriend's house, I got to sleep right around here.
Yeah.
It was a really interesting time. because I always had this drive and I was like a very driven person, but I couldn't figure this thing out.
Right.
Student loans were starting to come due. The credit cards at JCPenney's and Best Buy that you thought were a good idea are now those $100 payments keep coming. And you thought, I could pay that off. Now I couldn't. Wasn't really sure what to do. And so I got into the fire academy, LA County Fire Academy. I was like, all right, life is going to change.
Really?
Yeah. It was great.
Yeah.
I get into the academy. It was like a year-long process to even get in. I'm in the academy. I'm training, and about a month in, I injure myself, and I'm kicked out of that too.
You just couldn't catch a break.
Couldn't catch a break.
Okay.
But I'm living in an apartment at the fire academy at this point. Me and my girlfriend pretty much kind of broken up, and so you're just living at a hotel. And so I called my grandmother in San Diego. Said, all right, Grandma, I got nothing. I'm out of the academy. I got nothing. Can I come in San Diego, live with you while I figure this thing out? This is about 2010 now.
Okay.
And she says, oh, come on, baby. And so I leave the fire academy, but I was getting workers' comp for that injury. First time I had ever seen this type of money.
Right. $4
or $5 coming in every month while I heal while I'm living in my grandmother's back room, excuse me. And I said, I got to figure out how to hold on to this little bit of money. What do I need to do? I finally get a job downtown as a security guard making $11.75 an hour, actually at the Court of Appeal on B Street. And I just say, okay, I got this job. I got a little bit of workers' comp. It's not any money, but there's a library down the street, E Street. It was the big central library. And I said, I have to figure out what to do. Because on my screensaver, I had all these, like Bali, Thailand, all these beautiful places I wanted to go to. Travel has always been a big inspiration for me, but I had never left the country.
Okay. At that time.
And I'll wrap the story up, but it gets me where we are. And so I said, how do I travel the world and how do I figure out this money piece? And so I go down to the library and I started checking out every book on finance I could. Dave Ramsey starting with, and Susie Orman's and Robert Kiyosaki. And like, okay, debt, savings, and started to piece this together. And long story short, I started working more hours and eventually paid off all of my debt.
Wow.
Which was a lot. It's pretty substantial. Still with this job that paid me less than $12, but I ended up working nights, weekends, doing photography, saying I didn't finish my degree.
Right.
I don't have a high income. What I do have is a lot of time.
Okay.
And I had no expenses. I was living at my grandmother's, eating PB&Js and taking the trolley to and from.
Okay.
So I said I could work when I get off. I could work on the weekends. And I said, I can work a lot and still get a decent amount of sleep. And I did that, saved this money from the workers' comp on these little jobs, paid off the debt and said, wow, this feels different. Now that I've learned a few steps, then I kind of got obsessed, and then I bought a trip to Peru, and the rest is history, yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
So, my goodness. But when you say substantial, like, what are we talking about?
First, for me, $20,000 I saved up.
Okay.
So for me to never have had $800 at one time,
right,
for more than 2 days in my account, I saved up $20,000, and I just sat on it.
Yeah.
I didn't still really understand debt, though.
So, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I'm just going to hold this 20. Didn't invest it. Didn't know anything. I was like, this just made me feel like for the first time, I had been drowning a little bit and I could breathe.
Right.
And I could dream a little bit. And so, yeah.
So then you go to Peru. When did you start learning about investing? When did you start learning more complex, I can't even say complex, different avenues that you could do with your money other than just parking it in a savings account?
Great question. Podcasts were starting to come around at this time, and so I would just sit at this. Security is really boring, so I could just sit there and read and listen to podcasts, and I kept hearing the same things repeated by multiple people. I started to understand interest rates. I stopped thinking in dollars and started thinking in percentages.
Okay.
Kind of changed things for me, and I said, the only mathematical way to become financially free, to become in a position where my money pays for my lifestyle and my expenses without me needing to trade my time for it. The only way to do that is for my money early now to be going out and coming back with more friends.
Right.
To be going out while I'm working, while I'm sleeping, while I'm traveling, and coming back with more money.
Like, hey, I got more buddies.
Exactly.
Hey.
But I couldn't do that right away. So I said, but I don't have any, I don't even know how to do that. So what I realized is, I need to actually understand how much I do have coming in and going out. So then I said, let me understand how to create even a simple budget, pencil and paper, income on one side, expenses on the other for a month. Subtract or do the math. Do I have more coming in than going out?
Right.
I do. I got another $200 left over. But then I started realizing, if I invest, I can make 10% on average a year.
Right.
But then I said, but I can't also be paying 30% on a credit card because then I'd still be losing 20% mathematically.
Right.
So then I understood why it was important to pay off personal debt before investing, because I would feel like I'm winning, but my debt would go up faster than my interest on my investments. So it just started to make sense little by little, and I pieced it together.
Right.
And I realized having $20,000 here is actually losing money.
Correct.
Because then I started understanding depreciating assets and cash and all the other things we're doing.
How long do you think it took you to learn that?
I hyperfixate.
Okay.
So I can learn most things, like I can get a baseline amount of knowledge in a week on something if I'm really
week?
I think so.
Okay.
A baseline knowledge.
We did say you hyperfixate.
And I'm not joking.
Okay.
Like I just will listen to every 24 hours of information. And I don't really know why I do that. I've always been like this. If sometime I'm a coin collector when I was a kid, and I would just have to obsess. Every coins, then it was seashells, then it was stamps, and then it became finances. But you know what it was? The reason I hyperfixated is because for the first time, it felt like I was collecting something that would get me free.
Right.
I had seen my grandmother age, and her mortgage was upside down when she died, and she had to get a roommate when her husband passed because she couldn't pay for the mortgage that she'd had since my mom was a kid. Should have been paid off. I'd seen struggle in various ways, and I could have a little foresight and say, oh, what happens if you don't handle money right? But then I could also see the other side. What happens if you do? You could be financially free in your 30s, 40s. You could retire your mom. You could travel the world. You could help your sister go to school debt free.
Right.
You can move the chess pieces in your community instead of just voting. Say, no, I actually want a school here. I'm just going to build it. And it gives you a lot more autonomy, because I say the highest return on our money is really only 2-3 things. It's options, freedom, and time.
Yep.
Right? So I don't even know what your question was, but
no, that's great. But I do actually want to go back, because eventually we're going to talk about financial alignment. But before we can even talk about that, we have to talk about money mindset.
Yeah.
How money impacts us when it comes, there's a lot of shame behind money. There's a lot of fear, anxiety, because money seems very daunting. But then when you explain it, it's like sometimes it truly can just be black and white if we just sit down, learn a few things here and there, figure out how much money we have coming in, how much we have going out, what we want to do with the difference, or how to decrease what's going out. It truly can be black and white, but it seems like there's just a lot of emotion behind it. So you went from poverty.
yeah, for sure.
Poverty to now learning money, being successful, knowing what to do, having freedom, being able to travel. What was your mindset through that entire journey? How did you shift from a poverty, if you even had a poverty mindset? I'm not saying you did, but if you did, how did you shift that?
Yeah, that's the blessing, is honestly that and this is something I'm just blessed with. I won't say this is not everybody has it. Some people do. I hate not accomplishing what I set out to do. It eats away at me. My very first tattoo was on here when my mom said, you can go get a tattoo and it says greatness, ... nothing less. I got that at 17. Problem is I never had the tools or the blueprint to achieve what was in my head and my heart.
Right.
A lot of folks, though, when it comes to money, it becomes daunting, because I think from the time we go to school, we are told, hey, Johnny, go to school, get good grades. Why? Well, so you can get into a good college. Why do I want to do that? So I can get a good job.
Yep.
And tell me more. So you can make a lot of money. And then that's kind of where the story stops, and then something in life happens in the retirement. And maybe you get a nice house, a nice car, but we don't really understand, well, what is a lot of money?
Right.
And how do you keep it? How do you hold it? How do you grow it? And I find that also a lot of our emotions around money come to the dinner table conversations we did or did not have growing up. Was it about, oh, money don't grow on trees. I don't know how we're going to afford this. I just can't figure it out. Damn, I don't want to go to work. My bosses. Or were you seeing your parents wake up excited, hitting the alarm clock? Oh, let's go. Can't wait to go make some money. We got something to do. 401k is like this, son. Let's talk about our investments a little bit, which I now do with my kids, but I didn't hear that growing up. So they have a different emotional connection to money than I did. Me and my son, he sits on my lap. We were watching Disney Plus, At the same time, I said, let's buy some Disney stock. Well, what does that mean, Dad? And in real time, I said, look right here. I bought some a while ago. Look how much I bought it for. He says $83. I said, now what is the price today? It's $115. I said, but I bought it here and did nothing. Mm-hmm. Now I could sell it for this much. I said, you own some of this thing we're watching, this iPhone here I'm using. You own a piece of that. So making it tangible changes their emotion to it. But money is very, very emotional. But what I say is, and it's also not fun, and it's kind of a boring for folks. It's nice if you're a money nerd, but really, I think the best part of money and when it starts to become fun is when you attribute the dollars to a dream. Mm-hmm. When you tie them to something physical or tangible that you want.
Right.
Because if I tell you to go save money, most people, that sounds like deprivation. I've just got to put money into a shoebox and put it in a closet for a rainy day. Mm-hmm. But if we say we're not saving money to have less, it's so that you can actually just put another building block into the dream that you set. Yep. Do you want to travel? Mm-hmm. What is it you want? So we're not taking money away. We're just moving it from here to here.
Right.
But a lot of times we just don't know what that is. Yeah. I find most people can't really dream past a nice house, nice car, maybe a trip or two. Mm-hmm. But when you can align your money with something that lights you on fire to where you can't wait to get out the house, brushing your teeth like I get to go do this, not I got to.
Right.
Then the money just becomes, fun because now it's, I get to go make a little bit, not because I get to keep the lights on only, but because I get to put another piece.
Yeah.
On my building.
Yeah. I think that's huge because when I work with women, the first thing we talk about is, okay, what's the vision? Mm-hmm. What are we actually shooting for? Like, why are we doing this to even begin with? Like, why are we here? By the way, I have so many questions about life. Sometimes I just sit here and I'm like, what is life? Why is society like this? Tangent.
As you should. It's wild.
But we start at like, where do we want to go? And then we work backwards because you have to have a why. Like you have to have a purpose. Like as human beings, we need some type of drive to get us to where we're trying to go. And I can agree that usually we just say, okay, I want a house one day, a husband and some kids. Sure. Okay, but what do you want? Like what lights your heart on fire? Like what are you passionate about? Do you have any hobbies? Do you want to go see Beyonce in Paris? Like
our societies never really teaches that. It kind of teaches you to be a worker ant.
Yeah. And then you retire when you're pretty much decrepit and then you got 20 years left of life. Have fun.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but I'm about I got my 20s, my 30s, my 40s, my 50s. I want to enjoy life during that time frame too. But yeah, we start with the dream big, understanding the vision, so we know where we're going. I completely forgot where I was going with that.
Reverse engineering stuff.
Reverse engineering it. But you had said something that I wanted to touch upon, and that's what I lost a little bit. But I guess that's just what I wanted to talk about. So if we're looking at couples when it comes to alignment, to you, what is financial alignment for couples?
So financial alignment in a relationship to me is having a shared vision for your money.
Yes.
It ain't got to be exactly aligned in every single aspect, but say we are moving this direction. Just like you said, what is our why?
Right.
I think not only does it help, it cuts down on fights, and hopefully cuts down on divorce.
Absolutely. It 100% does. Yeah. As a divorce attorney, or I should now say former divorce attorney, what I do see is a lot of miscommunication and a lot of financial, I didn't want to keep saying misalignment, just they're not on the same path. Mm-hmm. One person is a saver, one person's looking at their retirements, they're investing, and the other person is just a YOLO, spending it all.
That's tough.
And then, don't even get me wrong with how it gets split and whether it's fair or not because one's a spender, one's a saver. But it's financial disagreements or financial incompatibility is a big source of disagreement amongst couples, which leads to the resentment, the spitefulness, especially because they no longer communicate to get on the same page. It's just issues that continue to fester, leading to the marriage just breaking down, no longer being on the same page, going their separate ways.
Yeah, I'm thankful that in my marriage with my wife, we started with a whiteboard. Like we've done a few whiteboards over the years. First was a whiteboard on how we're going to pay off our debt, and we had it snowballed from okay, you got this credit card, there's $200 on there. We got a library card, all the way to the big stuff in the cars. And then we paid it all off systematically and said, okay, we're going to put this much towards it. And then what are we doing next? What are our travel goals this year?
Yes.
Luckily, we're both savers. But I'm actually the nerd about it. So she's not a crazy spender.
Yeah.
I like to take what we have and be super, super efficient with it. I have no interest to work for very long. I mean, I may work till I'm dead in things I care about.
Right.
I don't want to need money like that.
Yes.
I'm only about how do I get free. And I might even be out the country soon the way it's moving. It's just too strange here. Mm-hmm. So I, especially in the last few years, and I'm going back to your financial alignment. It's alignment in all areas yet because I like to say that I teach lifestyle design through the lens of finance.
Okay.
Because that's the hook, personal finance, money, right? But really money just becomes life conversations. Mm-hmm. It's very little about the math. It's what do you want in life and how do we want to achieve it? How quick do you want to get there? And what are you willing to sacrifice to get? And you find out some people aren't really willing to sacrifice and some people are ready to go crazy. Mm-hmm. But going back to your linear line, it really is black and white. If you say, hey, us as a couple, we want this said goal. We want to be in this house. We want to be retired. We want to have this certain amount in our savings by this age. And we reverse engineer it all the way down to, okay, well, what is your income? What are your expenses? What are your budget? Mm-hmm. Oh, you can't actually do that right now. But if you cut here, if you make more here, if you flip this, you can. Mm-hmm. A lot of people aren't willing to do that.
Yeah, I know.
So then the dream's not that important to you? Or you're willing to push the date back a little bit.
There you go.
And that's okay, too. It's just everybody can be honest.
Yeah, I think a lot of people just have like fear behind it, and then the shame behind debt. So like when people say, well, pay off your consumer loans, especially if they're over like 10%, so like credit card debts and things like that, people won't even open their mail to see the balance because there's just all that anxiety and shame behind it. And it's like, you can't build to get to where you're trying to get if you don't even know the numbers. But the fear is what's blocking them. 100%. That's their obstacle. And I will say, like, for me, Umberto, I'm the money person, obviously. He, for the most part, was very lackadaisical. I'll say that when it came to his finances. He's military, so he had at least, like, a TSP. Mm-hmm. He was at least contributing enough to get the match. And so, in that regard, he was very responsible. But, like, when it came to credit cards... and it's what I have come to learn is even though he is now facing the numbers, even though he is now seeing the big picture, like we talked about before, there's still some type of like mindset shift he needs to like establish. Mm-hmm. Because even when we paid off his credit cards, in like 30 days, he just racked it back up. And I'm like, how? On what? I mean, I see the statements, but I'm like, how do you do that? Like, that is a skill.
It is a skill. But it's one skill that can kind of like, it's like a knife, right?
It is.
That's the thing. Not being good with money is like a knife. It can either chop vegetables and make it a delicious dinner, or it can really harm you.
Yes.
As funny as it is, and I remember I didn't like to look at my receipt when it came out the thing because I was just scared to look at it. So I understand that anxiety. I never wanted to check my credit report because 500s, what's the point of looking at that? Mm-hmm. It's now 8, by the way. But I say that to say everything is changeable.
Yes, exactly.
And it was 800 years ago, which means it doesn't take that much time to fix your finances. Mm-hmm. And I was at the bottom of the bottom in every category. But that alignment piece is important. But also sometimes you just need a coach, to be honest with you. Uh-huh. To see, like sometimes people need you to see the things that they don't see. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I loved my husband and this, that, but I didn't see the things I didn't know about.
Right.
And so to you, it makes how could you do this? Well, yeah, obviously to you, but sometimes we need to want something more than we want this thing. So I found that to also be an issue. It's like a lot of times when I talk to people, they think they want to save or they think they want this, but when they can't make this sacrifice, it's because they want this current situation more than this.
Okay, I see.
I personally wanted to. I was so broke I couldn't take a girl to a movie. I had to split so I was at the bottom.
You were 50-50.
So 50-50. No, mine was like, I can't do it.
It was a 0. Okay.
Luckily, I don't know. Like I just met people that liked me for my personality, but I didn't have any money. Mm-hmm. So why? But it wasn't because I wasn't a hard worker. Because I wasn't. It's just you don't know what you don't know.
Right.
But once I saw how what investments can do, what compound interest is. Once I understood it, like internally, I started selling Louis Vuitton bags that I had sitting around. I couldn't see any money wasted. It became like a veil was lifted off, like the Matrix.
Yeah.
So you're seeing that, and he's seeing what he's seeing, and it's just kind of, if you're still plugged into the Matrix, I can tell you a lot, but it has to actually sink in.
Right.
You have to. It has to sink in. Oh, we could have X amount if you just cut out this, and this. Well, okay, so we have $5 million. What does that mean? That means we'll get $500,000 in perpetuity for the rest of our lives without ever having to touch the goose.
Right.
Oh, but what does that mean? That, in a variety of things. So,
and I think too, it's for Berto, like his small shifts have been like actually seeing it in real time. So it's like, so we opened up a joint brokerage account, and we were putting money in it, and like watching him see like the numbers. So I track everything. I have an Excel spreadsheet every month. I'm tracking. It's actually twice a month, but with Berto, it's every month, and we're tracking our numbers.
Okay.
And it's like, this is the growth over time. And like when he saw my numbers, you could just see like, I don't think he was intimidated, but it was just like shit, she has her stuff together. Yeah. I gotta get my shit together.
Is that how he feels though? Does he want to, or is he not motivated?
I think he wants to, because when we started working on his credit, all of a sudden he became like obsessed with it, because we were looking at purchasing a home. And it became really hard to do so together, because now his credit was affecting our ability to purchase.
So he got obsessed.
So now he got his...
a strong enough why that he wanted more. See what I'm saying?
Exactly.
What's your why? Why are you so financially...
I don't want to work.
Boom. But you probably really don't want to work.
I really do not want to work. Like, so much so that my goal right now was to create as much money now to be able to build the things that I want, to set myself up to not work. I've always told myself I was either going to like hire. I never thought a man was in my picture, but if he was, it was going to be I'm going to be the multiplier. I still have like my prenup queen, so I still make money there, but I've now really what I do is I take Berto's money and I like multiply it, and so like him actually seeing the numbers and what we're building and what we're doing, and then him seeing like my vision and my plan on what I'm trying to do and why I'm trying to do it, he's like, oh, you can do this? Oh, it makes sense. I see. So like him actually seeing the numbers made it real. But yeah, my why is, and this stems from childhood. So I grew up with, my dad was in the picture for a little bit, but eventually left. So my mom was a single mom, and she was working 3 or 4 jobs just trying to make ends meet. And oftentimes I was by myself because I'm an only child. Or she would send me off with her sisters, my aunts, because she needed to go to work. She couldn't go to my volleyball games and basketball games. She was missing it because she was always working. And so my why has always been, I want kids, and I want to be a present mom. I want to be a stay-at-home mom, to be there for my kids. And I'm not saying like a helicopter mom. I just mean like, it just kind of sucked going to games and looking in the stands and my mom's not there. And it's because she had to make ends meet. Like, she had no other choice. And so she had to choose between work to make money, to pay bills, and being present. And obviously you got to do the responsible thing, right? I'm not shaming her for that. But I don't want that. I don't want to have to make a decision between work and kids. It's going to be my family every single time. And so I never want to be in that type of situation. So everything for me has been, how can I build my life for that? So if I'm ever in a situation, I can be like, I don't need you. I don't need this. I got plenty of money. It's options.
It's very specific too. I like that. What about, what's Berto's why? If I ask him this.
You know what? I don't think he has a why.
There we go.
And so this is actually something that we've been talking about in therapy, because we've been in therapy for a really long time. And my biggest fear is one day he's going to wake up and be like, this isn't the life I wanted. Because I will sit there and ask him, like, what do you want? I want what you want. I'm like, no, I know what I want. And I don't want my dreams to steamroll yours. Like, I need to know what it is you desire. Do you want to travel? Do you just want to be home? Do you want to retire early? Or do you want to really do your 20 years in the military? Like, even though we said 20 years so we can get that pension. But like I've asked him all these questions, and I don't think he actually knows. And I think it's because he's been in the military now and just constantly told what to do, when to do, how to do, and he hasn't really had the time to like think for himself.
Wonder. And that, to the financial piece, is the answer to your question. Your financial goals are strictly in line with a very precise, unique vision. And there's a big emotion, I could hear you talk, behind it. It's not like a logical, like I would like to purchase 2.5 bedrooms. I want a lifestyle. And that's when finances actually click for people, I believe. If you have a tangible thing you want, that won't really excite you. You'll get on a hedonic treadmill. You may even get the damn jacket. And you'll be like, all right, what's this cool?
What's next?
But having a lifestyle of I want to be able to be present at all times is something that you'll never actually run out of. And so it's a strong enough is what we call it.
Yeah.
This will be my enough. I have on my list right now, I have my enough list.
Okay.
I keep going back to because I will always chase more. And I will always chase more. It's okay to do, by the way.
Yep.
But to also know when I have hit my enough, so there's no anxiety behind chasing them more. To know, I actually hit my enough like 10 years ago. Now it's just, I wanted some sprinkles on the cake for funsies.
That's interesting. I was actually going to ask you, depending on where our conversation went, because a lot of people ask me, like, well, when's enough money? Like, when is it enough? Like, when can I stop?
Yes.
And I love that you brought that up. Yeah. What's on your enough list? Okay.
My enough list is very simple, and I wrote it because I found myself going down the thing. Let me find. So I have this super long like money goals, right? Financial freedom plan.
Holy smokes, that is detailed.
War chest, how much I want to own in gold, silver, crypto.
Wow.
I have a whole thing here. I'm very, very like I have a financial fortress that I'm trying to build. It's
Yeah.
like a moat of own every asset. I pay attention. Man, I get up. China's awake. Let me see what they're doing. I'm really like crazy about it. But my.
So that's like, oh my God.
Why
like
do
10
I
pages.
want money, right? So I want to
love that.
provide for my family, home, and good food. We eat really, really well. No junk.
Don't you have a farm? Or, like, not a farm, a garden. Don't you plant your own food? You're self-sustaining.
I'm a gardener, and I'm also a community outreach officer and CFO for a gardening company.
Okay.
So we distribute, we have gardens all over San Diego, organic produce, and we have a mobile farmer's market. So we work in fresh produce. So I'm really big in that. I'll spend the money on, like we go up to a ranch up north to get our cow, like while the cow's still alive, like that type of stuff. I'm crazy about it. But to provide for my family, to give us amazing experiences in travel.
Yeah.
To save for the future, to be able to save for the future, to have freedom of time.
That's a big one.
What's today? Friday?
Yes.
11 o'clock, and I'm here with you.
Right?
I ain't it? Freedom of time, freedom of choice, peace of mind, family health and well-being. Looking at everybody's able to, financial health.
Okay.
Physical and mental health. I haven't checked off 9 and 10 yet because I still got work to do.
Oh, the ones checked off are the ones
that I currently can look around and say these are
You've
achieved.
done that.
Yeah, we travel. I take the kids. We go out of the country every year. We're achieving these things in real time.
Damn. So just so everyone knows, there's 10 things on there.
10 things that I can say. I'm actually, my physical health got better this year because I hit 40. I'm 40 this year. So I got to age backwards. I'm working on it. And mental is just its own battle all the time.
So 8 of the 10 things are checked.
For sure.
That's phenomenal.
That I feel proud to say.
Yeah.
So now, because what else would I want money for? Yeah, I would love a nicer. I would love a nicer, but I'm
icing
enough.
on the
yeah,
cake.
exactly.
Okay.
Because I struggle with anxiety.
Yeah.
And I'm not one to like just start labeling myself, but I started to understand things as I got to know. I was like, oh, that's what that feeling is. Anxiety. I don't know if I'm hyper, but I hyperfix and have some ADD things going on.
I feel like me and you are the same person.
Yeah.
Because same.
But do you realize that all CEOs have like ADD? You heard that?
No.
Oh, they all have
but I can
ADHD.
see it. I can see it.
And they're all, but it's what's called a high functioning anxiety.
Oh, okay.
So it's so you can get a lot done, maybe not the healthiest way.
Right.
But to the world, it's like, damn, this brain. Yeah, but you're kind of going crazy. I wake up like, okay.
I'm literally on like 3 hours of sleep right now.
No, I wake up, I immediately put my headphones in, now I play my meditation like podcast. So I have to do that because I have to beat my heart rate from the email coming in that makes me go down the rabbit hole. Yeah.
I'm also very high anxiety. And I think, but I think my anxiety comes from fear of not doing enough to get to where I want to be.
Isn't that crazy? That you're so far ahead of probably most of your peers, but it always feels like, I'm not.
I'm not doing enough.
That will keep you successful, but also can keep you crazy if you don't have an enough list.
Yes, but also it has led to crazy burnout. Like, sure. I will just go, if I'm locked in, I'm locked in. Mm-hmm. And that's all hyperfixate. Like, that's all I see. And I know it probably drives Berto wild sometimes because he'll call me and I'm like, I'm still working on this. I'm still working on the spreadsheet. I'm still looking at this. Or I got to open this solo 401k because now I don't have employees and whatever. I'm just trying to set us up for the best life. And I recognize that I can be over the top.
For sure.
And so that's kind of where the compromise comes in. So like one of my questions was going to be, is it misalignment if you're on two different paths, or is it finding a need for compromise? Like, when do you realize that you are just misaligned with somebody financially?
Great question. Might be a therapist question, or I got to think deeper about that. But how do you know when you're misaligned with somebody? I would say easy tell is the amount of arguments or frustrations about money. How the energy feels when you bring up conversations. Is somebody reluctant to speak? Is there fear? Is there chastisement? Or does it feel peaceful? Is there joy and hope behind the conversation? I feel every time we talk about money, it's a form of excitement. It's like maybe a little tight, like, dang, all right, we got to cut here because we really want to do this trip. Like that. But it's fun. It's not stressful. But I feel like if that becomes, maybe something needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And it's tough because how do you work through that? You've lived your entire life with your own understandings around money, finances, what it means, what it can achieve. Mm-hmm. And then somebody else has their own thing, and then you've got to somehow meet in the middle.
Yep. I think there's things that can certainly be worked on, like you said, like in the context of therapy on, well, how does money make you feel? The fear, stuff like that, especially when you're having conversations. And I just keep thinking, like, what is a true misalignment? Because the way I try to liken it is like, you have two people coming together. One person says they want kids, and the other person's like, I clearly don't want kids. That's a true misalignment.
For sure.
Like that, especially if they're not willing to compromise, that's a true misalignment. So like in the context of money, what does that look like? And the only biggest example that I have from like a woman that I worked with is she just, not to shit on her by any means, very much materialistic. Mm-hmm. Very materialistic. And she was marrying into a relationship, whatever, with someone who was very on top of his money.
Okay.
And he just didn't believe in buying Birkins and Louis and all that stuff. Like, sure, a little bit here and there, but we can be doing so much more
for sure
with that money.
What was their money like? Were they wealthy?
He was wealthy. She was marrying into wealth.
Okay.
She was going to marry into wealth.
Got it.
And, I mean, he had plenty of money to spend on it, so it's not like it was going to break his bank. Mm-hmm. But, like, that's just not the lifestyle he wanted. And then he had concerns that she's just going to start spending all the money. Like, she doesn't work.
You need to have that conversation early.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that was his true fear. And actually, now I think about it, I don't think they got married. I do not think they got married. There were other things we had to work through. This was actually one of my prenup clients. And yeah, I think they realized from all the other discussions that they had to have for the prenup, it just was not going to work. They were on two very different pages on what they wanted.
Ramit Sethi says, what is your rich life? And I think discussing that early. Well, what is our shared vision of a rich life? If somebody said Birkin and cars and mine is travel and time with my family, we may be misaligned early on. Because money can buy both.
Yeah. So which one are you going to...
Which one, yeah.
Exactly.
Now, that's why I asked their income. Now, could you be in a position where you could...
do both.
Have both, and it's but a small fraction? Sure. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why it's more emotional. So, yeah, sure, the Birkin could be such a small percentage of my net worth, but it doesn't matter. But that doesn't... It still could be misaligned because...
Well, maybe he didn't like her that much then, because he wasn't willing to pay for it.
Yeah, no. I'm not doing none of that.
I can't believe I just said that out loud.
Hey.
Yeah, but no, I kid you not, because I feel like when men...
Maybe he didn't like her that much?
Yeah, because hey...
If he has it, he has it.
Yeah, but from a man's standpoint, okay, tangent. From a man's standpoint, I've always been told, and at least I feel it from Berto, compared to all my other relationships, he is extremely generous with me. Mm-hmm. And I just feel like when a man is like... wants this life with this woman, he's willing to spend on her. True or not? I don't know. That's what I always thought, but actually I've never spoken to a man about it.
No, that doesn't go together.
No? Ah, shit. Okay.
Spend money?
Yeah.
Sure, that's a piece, but that ain't the tell.
No? What's the tell?
It ain't what you buy. It's not only the time they give you, it's the quality of the time they spend for you. It's like little things like that. I think for a man, when a man's ready to marry you, he decides. I don't think spending. Let me think how to word this. Like, I don't.
You can be blunt. You don't have.
I'm
to
being blunt, but I also
everything.
don't want to. I don't know all the men. I can only think of how I think.
Okay.
That ain't how I operate.
Okay.
I told my girl's mom, she'll be fine. Mm-hmm. That's me.
Okay.
But right now, the reason she'll be fine is because I'm hustling and not buying bags.
Right.
It's because I'm stacking right now. Whoever marries me, I'm coming into this building something.
We're building.
I'm not going to blow it on you while I'm trying to learn you.
Right.
Me, I think a real man thinks like that. Like I'm. Where is the wood so I can start building the foundation of a house? I have no, but that's me though. That ain't everybody. But I also only want the woman who likes that.
Right.
I don't. So I would want a woman who would appreciate. Damn, I like that right now, like this. My car currently is a 2013. I could buy any car I want. I like that my shit is old, and I like that my wife likes that my car is paid off and old.
And paid off. That's got no car payment.
Mm-hmm. Would she like me to pull up in? Yeah, we could get that tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But the fact that I don't, and instead I say, look, got a $250,000 tucked over here because I made different choices in the last 10 years. I don't. So whatever your preference is right. But I would not be the same if I took all the money I had and was trying to impress before I had anything foundationally solid to offer a woman. So it also depends your age.
Interesting.
All these things like, I don't. None of the men I know, and I know married men and I know fathers, none of them were tricks. They were trying to, and I don't mean tricks like that. That's just not who black men I know weren't doing that. If you got it, you take them out, spend $300, $400 on the dinner. You do that. We're not cheapskates.
Right.
But a man who wants a life with you, I don't think needs to impress you with the small things because you got 40 years of that. Mm-hmm. But if it's quick, he's like, I'm trying to smash, man. I know I'm in and out. I'm messing with 3 or 4 women. Okay. Let me make sure that she knows she's important because I have to make sure she doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because I'm juggling a lot right now.
Yeah.
But if she's mine and I'm hers, I'm on the trolley. I'll see you at 2 a.m. because I used to do security. Then I work at the bar security breaking. This was me. I don't have any money, but I'm working. See my heart and see my mind. Right.
And see the future. Like you are thinking about her in the future. What can you build for her in the future? For her, and from a woman's standpoint, her security, her safety. Because to me, that's what money is. That
sure.
It's not just like the numbers game. It's what is it, how's it making me feel? What is it allowing me to experience? And I've always felt from how I grew up, like, money was scarce and gotta hoard it. And with what we're trying to build, the safety net that it's now gonna let me have, that peace of mind it's gonna let me have.
Peace of mind is what also I lost mad girlfriends before that though. So what I'm saying is also not true. Like, because I was broke, I couldn't keep a girl. Like, only one wanted me. Only one was like, I see something in you. I'm gonna wait on that.
Yeah.
Like, so no, you're right. It has its pros and cons. I couldn't really, I couldn't do the dates and couldn't do a lot. Couldn't splurge at a time when Instagram and everybody was like, "Oh my God, this is what men are supposed to be doing." And I couldn't.
Yep.
Mathematically, I couldn't. I was eating like top ramen in the back of the microwave, like type of in the break room, and so.
Well, the reason why I had asked is because that's what's floating around on Instagram. There's a lot of advice out there saying, watch how a man spends on you, because that actually shows what he thinks
Who's
about
giving
you.
that advice?
Women. That's what I was asking from a male's perspective.
That's fugazi. That's a man who's trying to impress, like, on the surface. That's like peacock feathers. That's a lion's mane. All males of all species of animal are somewhat more beautiful because they gotta present. Presentation, chains, cars, money, that's presentation. That's, to me, lack of substance. But most men don't have that much substance. I only know this as a 40-year-old. Oh, damn, these men ain't really about, they don't have, I'll be talking to them. I have no friendships. I got like 3. One's my brother-in-law, one's my garden friend who I've known since I was childhood, and one's a new family friend. I don't have friendships. I don't even know how to engage in conversation with most men very much. Not that I'm better than, I just don't. I'm realizing, oh wow, the emotional intelligence is really, really, really lacking.
It's lacking.
They don't know how to love their woman properly, so they think maybe this is love. That ain't love, playa. And it's not security. And also, though, to a woman who's misinformed, it will give you a veil of security. Oh, because if he can afford this, it must mean this. No, because he afforded this, it means now he can't.
Exactly.
If you show up to me in a $300,000 Lamborghini, my assumption is now you have $300,000 less in the bank than me, not more.
Right.
But that's a mindset shift, you know.
I mean, until I see these statements, show me what you're working with.
For sure.
Let me see how much you got stacked up in that.
Because now that I've gone down the rabbit hole of actual multimillionaires, decamillionaires, and billionaires, they think differently than people who got a couple $100,000.
Right.
Who trying to act like millionaires.
Right.
Whole different. Everything about them is different.
Do they look like millionaires?
No, you never know.
Or billionaires?
They're in Toyotas.
Okay.
Every one of them has a Toyota.
Yeah. So are you big? Okay. How do you feel about Dave Ramsey?
I got my whole sting with Dave Ramsey, and I'm certified through his program. But now I've shifted away from that because Dave Ramsey speaks to a certain demo that I was.
Yeah.
And then you graduate. I think finances. You started at Dave Ramsey, Susie Orman. You may read Rich Dad Poor Dad. I don't recommend that anymore because he's just a big debt guy. But then you start to evolve, and if you're anything like me, you start to build your own principles.
Right.
And my principles are nothing like Dave Ramsey. I know way too much. He knows what he knows in a very, very unique way, but also he's built a brand that he can't really change his messaging.
True.
He'd have to change his whole book.
He's trying. I feel like he's slowly trying, and I'm like watching some of his content. I'm just like,
it'd just be hard.
This isn't old Dave.
Yeah.
That's not.
He's like, but I still sell the baby steps, so I can't go too far off of them.
Right.
Even realistically, his investing advice won't get you wealthy, but it will get you out of debt.
I think he's great for getting people out of debt.
That 100%.
Yes.
But once you're out of debt and you've got a nice, healthy emergency fund, doing 25% in them 4 things is cool, and that'll be safe. But the world is changing.
Yep.
The U.S. dollar is out of here. If you don't understand value, I have spent the last year or two deep diving into not only debasement of currencies, but economic history. This is how I tell you I hyperfixate. I bought a gold coin because I wanted to start buying gold. And then I spent like 2 weeks watching every documentary on gold, how it's made, how it's mined out the earth, the history of gold in England. This is how crazy I get. I have to know this thing I own. Like why has it been around for 6,000 years? Egypt, why is this one coin the same value it was 6,000 years ago? But a dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power since the 70s, since my dad, not even a long time ago. What does that mean? And so then I start, but that's a different conversation. Maybe it's not a different conversation, but then you start to realize, oh, Dave Ramsey is the first part. But then you gotta you
gotta promote yourself. You gotta take a step up, learn a little bit more details, get more into the nuances.
But they all gotta be personal to you.
True.
Yeah.
That is very true. Okay, well, shoot. We talked for quite the time.
Yeah.
But actually, every person that comes on here, I ask 3 questions. It's kind of like speed round. Okay. So, one money belief you had to unlearn.
That the goal of money was to purchase things. I had to unlearn that and learn that the goal of money is to purchase more money and time so you can do whatever you want with your life.
I like that.
Yeah.
What's one small habit that has created the biggest impact?
Learning to budget. Learning to actually account for all of the money that's coming in and what's going out. Not so I just have an understanding of it, but so I know how much I have to keep and pay myself. That's the most important person on my line item. I got all these things. Rent, car, cell phone, Brandon. And I want that number to continue to grow. Right. So learning to really understand and how to budget like a business with profit being the mindset first. Like, this is how much I want to keep. Right. Then I'm going to make sure that all of the expenses go around that.
Right. Oh, I like that. Okay. And then what's the best money advice you've received?
Your money should be working harder for you than you work for it.
Sound advice. Well, thank you, Brandon, for being here. We talked for a really long time.
We did.
We sure did. But tell everyone where they can find you, because I know they're going to want to reach out.
Yeah, you can find me on BSJ Coaching, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook. BSJ Coaching and .com if you want to sit down for a session.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for spending time with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to join the Lover Girl CEO community. It's completely free and filled with resources to help you build a healthy, aligned, and successful marriage rooted in both love and money. You can also grab additional tools like our money date cards, as well as guides and frameworks designed to help you have better conversations, make smarter decisions, and build real security in your relationship. And if you want personalized support, you can always schedule a Love and Money call with me, as I would love to connect with you directly. You can find all of these resources on our website at www.theprenupqueen.com. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, and if you enjoyed this episode, leaving a review truly helps more women connect with us. Until next time, lead with intention, build with purpose, and remember, your marriage is one of your most powerful assets. See you next month. Love a Girl out.